Hey everybody, this is Kenneth Robinson, affectionately known as Dr. Ken. I'm about to do the Father's Coach podcast.
Hi, my name is Kevin Kelley. I'm the Father's Coach. Welcome to the Father's Coach podcast. We here at the Father's Coach podcast, we reform the image of fatherhood. That's our mantra. That's what we were called to do. That's the assignment. A couple of years ago during the pandemic, the Lord gave me this dream, this vision of reforming the image of manhood and fatherhood. So what I did is I went and talked to some of the guys that I was engaged with Delaware Fatherhood and Family Coalition. And I said, you know what, guys, I had a dream. I want to see if this may fit with this, since I was part of leadership. I wanted to share it with them. And they said, you know what, Kevin, let's do it. So we did it. We added that piece, reforming the image of fatherhood in our city. So we took this in our city, and at that time, I was the president of the Delaware Fatherhood Family Coalition, the chapter in Dover, the chapter in Dover. And what happened is the Newcastle County chapter and the Sussex County chapter kind of just bought into it. And then, of course, a couple of years later, they ran out of funding or whatever. But it was a vision that came to me. And so I was already the Father's Coach. So I implemented that into what we were doing. And this is what we call it's a movement. It's a movement of reforming the image of fatherhood. So why do we have to reform it? Well, reforming means to form again. So what we see as being formed now is not too good. It's not too good from the media's perspective, or to culture's perspective. So what we're doing is Life by Design coaching firm, which is my business. We go into the schools and we're actually being a mentor to 3rd, 4th, 5th graders, some 5th, 6th, and 7th graders. And we're going in there, and it's not just a man show with this one. Yeah, we started out being a man show, but also for the young ladies. So we have some young ladies that are consultants with the organization too. So we're reforming the image of manhood, but we also give them leadership qualities. So how do we do this? We engage them. We engage all men of all ages with this leadership quality of men and fatherhood. A lot of people don't have fathers. They don't have fathers. So we actually bring an element. We bring a curriculum, and we bring presence. That's what fathers do, right? We bring presence, protection, provision, promotion. There's one thing I've been talking about for the last 2 weeks about progenitors. We men are progenitors, right? Something from which originates. Everything else originates. So we as fathers, we as men, we as leaders, and also women, you out there too, you leading too, but you are a progenitor. Men are progenitors. So we should be a template. We should be an example in finances. We got a financial coach here today. In a few minutes, I'll bring him in. But in finances, in health, in fitness, how about we talk about the 5 F's? Faith, family, fitness, finance, and friends, right? We get this from Rabbi Lapin, right? She talked about that faith, family, friends, fitness, and finance, right? So men need to be the progenitors for these concepts. So we're going to talk about this today. Be right back. Oh, we also want to talk about our sponsors. Life by Design coaching firm is a sponsor. FONTAINE Vision is a sponsor. Cuts, Coffee, and Conversation, they're sponsors. And we thank all you guys for sponsoring and collaborating with us. God bless you. See you soon. Welcome back. My name is Kevin Kelley of the Father's Coach podcast. We have Dr. Kenneth O. Robinson. He's here with us right now. Oh my God, let me share his bio. He is so powerful. This man right here, he is here. We are grace to have. I want to welcome him to the world right now. He's already in the world. We want to welcome him to our family here. Dr. Kenneth O. Robinson, affectionately known as Dr. Ken, has developed a passion for teaching individuals the importance of dreaming again and trusting God to restore them to their God-given purpose and assignment. He is the founder and apostolic pastor of the Dream Life Worship Center campuses in Randallstown, Maryland, North Dallas, Texas, and country of Pakistan. He is committed to helping individuals fulfilling their God-given dreams and their spiritual and financial destinies. Known for his expertise in biblical studies and finances, Dr. Robinson is a sought-after skilled teacher and trainer in biblical finances and leadership. Dr. Robinson holds a BS degree in accounting from Morgan State University and is a graduate of the American Academy of Certified Estate Planners, where he received his Master's Certified Estate Planner, MCEP license. He has received an honorary doctorate of divinity from St. Thomas Christian College and Seminary. Dr. Ken is currently enrolled in the Master's of Arts in Organizational Leadership graduate study program at Oral Roberts University in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We want to welcome the world to Dr. Ken. He's my financial coach too, guys.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. It's great to be here.
Oh, wow. When I was reading your bio, I was just thinking about, you are established and you're teaching people on finances. And this culture right now, we're going to start off in deep, but we're going to come back though. This culture talks about, being a hustler, being survivor and hustler, and come on, let's get it kicking, let's make that money. And I'm like, wait a minute. In my heart, I got issues with that. Yeah. Because I'm like, if you want to be established, especially at my age, I just had a birthday this past month. I think you had a birthday last week, right?
Yes, I did.
You had a birthday last week too. Wow.
Taurus man.
Wow. So the thing was, so a lot of people talking about surviving and being hustlers and we're making that money. And that's something like, from my perspective, maybe you can help me. It comes from like a street mindset. But in the boardrooms, that's unacceptable unless you're walking in there with $1 million. Then you can walk in there with your pants hanging down, talk that hustler talk, right? But the deal is, people, you're not going to be accepted. And what I've been involved in a lot of community initiatives, in the prison initiatives, and also churches, whatever. People are going to frown at you. They're not going to throw money your way. They're not going to finance you. What do you think?
Well, presentation is everything. I mean, your package, either if you got content, got information, revelation, whatever you think you have, the package is everything. It's the first thing people see.
Yeah. So,
it says people look on the outward appearance, but then there's a God that looks at the heart.
Yeah.
So the substance of who you really are is really what people need, but the package, that's what you're talking about, the package. And, you look at some of these great rappers and what have you, Jay-Z and all the ones we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, when they get before people like Warren Buffett, they put on a suit and tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So LeBron James, you're going to see him with a suit and tie.
Yes.
When they get in the proper setting. So environment is important. Presentation is important if you're especially trying to get in the door.
Yeah, I like that. So I want to share one thing. I met this guy when I was a little kid.
Yes.
Now, I want to share this because my father was impacted by his father, Bishop Kenny Robinson. My father was impacted by this man's father, and I'm impacted by him. The way I see him move throughout life, in school and college, the things that we did in church. We're church guys, right? But we're going to talk about that too. And just the things that I saw him navigate through. I want to share that because I consider you a big brother. So when I see you I saw you on TV. I remember I was invited to in Philadelphia, one of the stadiums, where Joel Osteen had the hope of...
Oh, you were there?
I was there. And I saw you. I was like, that's it. It was like I see you in different places. And I'm like, I saw how you navigate and I saw you have strategic relationships, and I always talk about, strategic alliances.
Yeah.
But I was able to see you navigate and it made you better. Can you talk about that before we get into some history there?
Well, it's really important to be connected or be around the people that are where you want to be.
Yeah.
That's extremely important. They become the guide. They become the pattern. Mm-hmm. No one is going to be successful without a pattern. We are engineered, we all need some kind of pattern before us. Yeah. And so I've always learned that. I've always felt that way, that if I wanted to be somewhere, I got to connect with that person that's already there and learn, because successful people leave clues.
Ooh.
They leave clues. And so, show me your company, I'll show you your course. Show me your friends, I'll predict your future. So we know who you are by who you hang around, who you want to be with. So I've always lived by that principle. Even in the churches I grew up with, and what have you, I appreciated all that I was around.
Yes.
But many of them I felt couldn't take me where I wanted to go. Mm-hmm. So I had to really, step out of my comfort zone and get in the presence of people who were where I wanted to be.
Now, was that hard? Was that a challenge, breaking away from that comfort zone?
Absolutely. That's the very first step of success, is to recognize that you got to break away from a comfort zone.
When you do that, people talking.
Oh, yeah. You're going to get talking. You're going to be called. Now you got the big head. They're going to say things like, you think you're better than us. So that's what. But, Bishop Jakes wrote a book some time ago, Can You Stand to Be Blessed? See, people want certain levels, but they ain't ready for certain devils, I say. Higher levels. The point is that the higher you go, the greater the pressure, the greater, and the pressure comes from the people you never expected.
Yeah.
People. So a lot of times we're asking for things that we don't have the capacity to really handle. So I learned now my prayers change. I pray for capacity now and character to be able to handle what I want in life.
Capacity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm on.
Yeah. We don't want your gift to take you where your character can't keep you. You've heard that before. Yeah. So those are the things you learn when, as you go along and what have you, the most important things.
Yeah. Remember one time I saw you on Word Network. This was years ago. I think but maybe they had just moved to Delaware. I'm not sure what year it was, but I know I woke my wife up and I was like, "It's Kenny Robinson." That's Kenny Robinson. She was like, okay, who is he again? And I was like, "It's Kenny Robinson. I grew up with him. And he was on the Word Network, and I was watching those different facets of your life. I was watching you grow and do all those things. And what that did for me personally, I was like, well, if he can do it, I can do it.
Wow.
If you can do it with and have different relationships, because a lot of times some closed-minded circles, they think that they're the only fountain or they're the only faucets.
Right.
But if you have multiple and you know what they are, like I have different coaches and mentors, right, in my life, they stretch me. Different mentors and coaches in my life, they stretch me. So, I now have a financial coach since last month, we kind of got that, solidified. But then there's a coach that stretches me 10x, Tracy Armstrong. He just 10x everything about me. I think every father needs a father, every coach needs a coach, every mentor needs a mentor, every pastor better have a pastor, somebody so that you can't just have this revelation and you going way out there.
Say that.
Wait a minute.
Say that.
Come on, listen, you may be a dream or maybe just something that's concocted. Listen, I had took a class with somebody in your neck of the woods, Bishop Don Mears. This was 2009 when I was first just getting my getting called in, into the pastorate and stuff like that. It was a pretty good journey, right? But he was one of our teachers, and what he said was the revelation that this is funny. Whatever you get, whatever revelation that you get, somebody else already had it. So study that. Study that first. Whatever you think you got, whatever you think you heard, study that first. And I kept that. For all these years, I was like, let me look to see who else is saying that's credible, that has good character. Let me study that and then add my flavor to it. So
And give them credit for it too.
Oh, you gotta give them credit. Yeah. Gotta give them credit. So anyway, let's talk about family. Let's talk about family. Let's go back, and then let's go to current. But let's go back. What father influenced you? I know the answer already. What father influenced you? What fathers influenced you?
Yeah, you know who that is. That's Bishop Kenneth O. Robinson Sr. My dad was an amazing man. Of course, he was a bishop in the church.
Yes.
But besides that, he was a great manager in the secular world. He started in the post office as just a regular carrier and worked his way up to a supervisor. And before you knew it, he was a postmaster. And so he was in the post office for over 40-something years, man.
Wow.
And it's just amazing how faithful he was. Everything he did 40 or 50 years straight. He was married to my mother for 55 years. He was in the church he was in for 55, 60 years. Commitment. He was president of a Bible college for 40 years.
Easy. Yeah.
And in the post office for 45 years. So he was a faithful man.
That means he was doing all that probably simultaneously.
Yes. He wasn't like I am. I'm full time. He worked a secular job and pastored at the same time. Highly disciplined man.
Disciplined.
I didn't even realize how disciplined he was. But I pull on that discipline now because whatever my father has, I have a right to. Anything your father has, you have a right to.
Your father liked jazz too.
He did. He loved genres of music, and we didn't realize how much he liked music.
I didn't know until the service, the memorial service when we had who was playing the xylophone.
Oh man, there's a slips me, but he had an incredible service. Even homegoing service, it was amazing. Every facet. He was in the military. So you and I both, we've been blessed with some great fathers, and which has given us an advantage in one respect, but at the same time, we were able now to help others.
Yeah,
like you're doing. I think it's great.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So you were impacted by your father.
My father, mostly father. He was the image I saw. He was the pattern that was before me. But of course, I had other men in my community that I looked up to. Back then, the community centers were everything.
Yeah.
So you went to the community center and you had, somebody in the community that you looked up to, a coach or some type of community director, and they were very hard on you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they were just as hard on you as sometimes your parents were.
Yeah.
But we don't have that. No, as much as we used to have.
That's sad. And I talk a lot about grid, GRID. And your father did the same thing. They gave us a grid. Now, my father gave me a grid about husband, father, family, community, church, of course, and business. So those 5 elements is what I saw. So I get that by default. So we men, we get that from our fathers. What about the fathers that don't have that grid? So that's why that's why God really expanded us to even have this podcast.
That's right.
Do all the things that you do.
That's right.
And it's like now it becomes almost a ministry of reconciliation type.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
And that's a blessing. So what are some of the things that you're married?
I have an amazing wife, Lenya Robinson. She pastors with me. She partners with me. Business partner, everything. Just a wonderful, wonderful lady that I am just thrilled to be married to, and I'm happily married.
Y'all look good. Happily married.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean we don't have our moments at a time, but but she's a blessing, and I thank God for it.
A man that finds a wife
finds a good thing and finds favor.
That's my favorite. My wife is my favorite.
Yeah, man.
Because there's times, I'm going to just faith moment right here. There's times that when I look at my wife and I'm like, you know what? I want her to pray for me. I deal with her according to knowledge. But the thing is, I want to navigate life with my wife, because I want her prayers to be favorable for me. I don't want her to go to God and be like, God, Lord, Kevin. I want her to say, Lord, bless him, give him the desires of his heart or whatever. So that's how I look at favor.
Yeah.
I look at favor. I protect her like it's like that. That's my favor. Nothing can come on her. Yeah. That's my favor. That's my intercessor. When I'm sleeping at night, her hands on my back of my head and stuff like that, I'm not even asking no more. I'm like, yo, whatever she did, she get rid of it. She get rid of it. That's my favor. So you're married, you have children?
Yes, I do. I have 2 sons and 2 daughters. My son's a lot older than my daughters, a little older than my daughters, but 2 boys, both of them in California, 30, well, something that slips my mind there, 33, and the other one is 28.
Wow.
And 2 daughters who are a sophomore at LSU.
Wow.
She's 20, and a younger daughter in high school who's 16. And so I have the blessing of being able to father 2 boys and 2 girls.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man. Yes. And they're totally different. So fathering the daughters and fathering sons are 2 different dynamics. Yes. Sons can be kind of easy when it comes down to what they want. But a daughter, she knows from the time she's a little girl what she wants. For example, you fix a breakfast, you just slap a pop top to a son, some milky good.
Yeah.
But daughter, she was how she wants her toast.
And I want some blueberries.
She wants some blueberries. And I said to myself, boy, if I had known that, I'd been better off, knowing my wife, Yeah. Yeah, because it starts from the time they're young.
So what do you think your children are saying about you?
I think they would say, without a question, that I am a father that provides. I think they would say that I am a loving father, caring father. I wish, like many fathers probably in my position, that you could give more attention and time to it.
Yeah.
Because how do kids spell love? T-I-N.
I was going to say that. I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. But for them, but I have good relationship with all of them. And if you ask any of them, they can clearly say that I believe I've been a good father.
That's awesome. Wow. Okay. So family. I want to talk about something else before I talked about the dream. How's your mother?
Mom's doing great. You know, mom's gonna be 90 in January.
I saw a picture of her in Newark.
Yeah, I go visit the gospel. Yeah, she was at. Yeah,
I saw the picture. I was like,
yes. She was able to get the Union Gospel, and that was such a thrill because she misses you not holding church, getting there physically.
Yeah,
not able to get there as often as she would like now. But she really, you know, when she gets to get out and to be able to get back to a UAC church,
yeah,
that was a thrill for her.
Wow.
And they treated us so nice. I want to thank, if any Union Gospel people watching, I want to thank you for how you treated my mother. You treated her royally, and she was so blessed by her presence there, and because you guys made it possible. Thank you so much.
And she deserves it. The last time I seen your mother was in Elizabeth at one of my father's churches, and she said, she looked at me, she said, "You preaching now? Well, I heard you preaching now." She was like, "You be good, all right? You be good." She was talking about my character. She wasn't talking about preaching, Gabe. She was talking about my character.
Yeah, man.
And I was like, "Yes, ma'am." I was like, "Yes, ma'am." Yeah. She almost made me cry when she said that because I felt that.
Yeah.
I felt that from her.
That's my mother. She's been an encourager as long as I knew her. But that's the perspective that the other generation has that we have to adopt. They always saw things long term.
Yes.
And legacy is a big word with me. You know, my conference is about legacy. Mm-hmm. Being able to see down the road. And they understood that if there's not certain character traits
in place,
that whatever you were trying to do in life is going to be short term.
Lord.
So they saw ahead. And, you know.
And it goes back to what you was talking about too. I forgot what that quick. But yeah, that legacy piece. Oh, your prayers. So we could want all this $1 million. We could want the $1 million. We could want the Bentleys. We could want all this and money and show all this kind of stuff, right? But character, be able to steward it, taxes. What about the associations that come along with that? How about just keeping it? How about a place? You need to be trained to keep the money.
That's right. You
don't keep it in the bank.
See, people confuse making money with having money.
Right.
You can make money, but that doesn't mean you have. And so that's one of the things we focus on, you know, because all of us make money. We make money, whether we work at a 9-to-5 or a business. People make money, but they confuse it. I want to make more money. Just got to make more money. No, that ain't the same as having money. You got to make, manage, and multiply money.
Yes.
That's the 3M principle that I teach for money.
Yes.
Make, manage, and multiply. Now people using it now. I've been saying it for a couple of decades.
You have
make, manage, and multiply your money. Sometimes people make it, but they don't manage it.
And don't multiply.
Or they'll make it and manage it.
We were told.
But they don't multiply it.
But that's the commander's instructions to us. Be fruitful, multiply.
Yes. Yeah.
Replenish, subdue.
All three of these principles are seen throughout our favorite book. All three with money. And we're not taught it because for the most part, we've been told that money is the root of all evil, which is not even true.
No.
And nowhere does it say money is the root of all evil. Even the term, the love of money is the root of all evil, is misinterpreted.
Now give us the real interpretation.
Well, it's referring to a person's relationship with money. Anything you hate is going to leave you. Anything you despise is going to reject is going to leave you. So if you got this disdain, and sometimes we have that in our conscience, this disdain of being successful and having money, and we despise rich people. A person like that will never have success with money. So you have to change your whole thinking. I like money. In fact, sometimes I love money, but I don't love it more than God.
Right.
I don't love it to the point that I choose it over other things. But I have to be affectionate toward money. Otherwise, I won't want it.
I was talking to one of my mentees on the way up here. And I was telling him, I said, you can't, money is good. And I was sharing with him about the 5 F's, faith, finance, on faith, family, friends, finance, fitness. I said, it's good, but we have to use it. You can't let it use you. You can't let money use you. You got to be able to use it. I told him, you got to use school. You got to use your job. Use it. I said, I'm using it.
It's a tool. It's all supposed to be a tool. And in the seminar you came not too long ago that we taught, talked about mastering money. And whatever you don't master,
I need to learn that more.
Yeah, whatever you don't master, you end up serving. And it's that dynamic of, even when our favorite book says you can't serve two masters, you love money or hate the other. That's so whatever you don't master, you will end up serving. So most people who think they don't love money, and they're in a position where they end up really needing money and think about money all the time because they don't master it.
How are you going to expand? Well, first of all, how are you going to establish something without resources, about money or access? That it takes money. So I want money. I want a lot of money. You know why? Because I have a large vision.
Yeah.
I have a large vision, and I know, not just because of prophetic word that I got, and I did get some prophetic words that I'm going to finance a lot of families, stuff like that. It takes money. But I have to understand how I'm going to do that. I'm not going to give away that money that I need to live off of to do that kind of stuff,
No, but that's one of the major things, Kevin, that really shifted my life and shifted me even in ministry. I began to really understand the importance of the money. And sometimes in other cultures, which I was fortunate to be around, their whole perspective of the business of things like ministry and church is totally different. They just deal with the money and they get the money because they understand by getting the money, we're going to be able to do ministry more effectively.
Yeah.
But we've been kind of taught, the only time we heard about money coming up was when it was offering time.
No. I know. So I had, there's a friend of mine was talking about, his daughter walked up to him and said, listen, I want a car. His son wanted a car. His daughter wanted something else. He said, okay, well, what we're going to do is before I take money out of the account, let's get a piece of property. And then the proceeds of that will actually get your car or get your thing. So we're actually using money.
That's a wealth principle. But that's a wealth principle you just said.
Yeah.
Robert Kiyosaki changed the landscape of financial thinking because he taught us that you cannot buy assets and think they're buy liabilities and think they're assets. And that goes back to what you're saying. We're so used to purchasing assets that we really cannot afford. We borrow assets that we can't afford. And so what it is that we expend all our time, and all that time is being used in exchange to pay off bills. Where if you buy an asset that will make you money, the time that you will use trying to make the money, you can use that time to do something more creative, and the asset will pay the bills.
You hear this?
That's what we're going to teach.
You're going to teach me this. You're going to teach me this. So my wife and I just had my birthday weekend, and we was down at Lewis Beach, and we saw some houses down in the Rehoboth area, and it was for sale. And we always been talking about the last couple of years of getting a beach house for us and then family and stuff like that, right? So that's a luxury. So when I woke up yesterday morning, I was like, wait a minute, that's a luxury. If I get that now, I'm going to expend all my resources just to have, and not even thinking first, maybe I could make money off of it. Maybe I could use it a couple of, once a month type of deal. But I need to be a vehicle. I need that property or a property like that to be a vehicle for me.
Turn it into an asset.
Turn it into an asset.
Even if you borrow the...
We like the beach. We love the beach.
Yeah.
Florida and all that. We love
but
that.
You ain't going to be there every weekend.
No.
If you do, you may be broke.
Hallelujah.
You're not going to be there every weekend. Right. So what do? You lease it out. You rent it out.
Yeah.
Times you're not going to be there, and you make money from it. That's why Airbnb is the largest hoteler that owns no property. They have more hotels. They have make more money for real estate, but they own no property.
What about Uber?
Uber is the largest transportation company that has no cars, owns no cars.
Wow.
It's a mentality. So
there's a principle that I use I was taught this. It was called CTTM, Coach, Train, Teach, and Mentor. I learned this by Tracy Armstrong some years ago. CTTM, because a lot of times we raising kids, as fathers raising kids, and also just people in our organizations and whatever, we expect them to do the right thing, and then when things don't happen, we start hollering at them. They do this, that, well, we fire them. But did we coach them? Wait, let's back up. Did we train them? Back up. Did we teach them? Wait a minute. Did we mentor them?
Good.
CTTM. And I think we need to do that in finances. So talk to me about dreaming again.
Oh boy, that whole concept of dreaming again, Kevin, came at a very dark period in my life. 14 years ago. It's been about 14 years ago. I went through the trial. I call it the trial of my life. My wife don't like me to talk about it like that, but it was. I went through a marital breakup, something I'd never imagined, because you know how we were raised. Yeah. But life happens. I don't care how good life happens. And it happened to me. And when I reached that place, I thought it was over for me. Because, family is everything. And as pastor, family, that's it. You have just lost your card. And
people write you off.
And they will write you. And many did. But in that dark season, the moment of my life, is when I heard these words, dream again. Mm-hmm. And it was the dream that kept me going. That's why right then our whole church name is now Dream Life Worship Center. Everything we teach now is centered upon the dream, because I believe that God has given every man or woman a dream. And what happens is, it's there, it's shared when we're young sometimes, but life happens.
Life happens.
And what do? We buried it under our fears, our guilt, our resentments, our hurts. And before we know it, we've lost the dream. We've dummied down our dream. We don't believe we could ever do it. We say it's too late. I don't have the money now, all that. But then the message comes to you. Dream again.
Dream again.
Because the God I serve is a restorer.
Yeah. Restoration. Wow. So what's the dream?
So the dream, good question. The dream in my life has always been to empower people to fulfill their destiny and to maximize their potential in Christ. The dream for me always was to build a network well, I don't want to get confused with the dream with the vision. That is the dream, to be able to empower people. But
that mission.
But the vision is a picture of your dream.
Yeah,
that's what it is. So we're now, as you know, we're building what we call Dream Nation Alliance, which is an alliance of spiritual leaders and athletes. And we have Dream Eagles Empowerment Leadership Network, where we teach leaders in business and in the kingdom of God. And then we're doing also what we call Dream Nation Institute, which is basically a Bible leadership success training, which is going to teach people the way I learned. See, the Bible is my foundation. Okay, it's where all truth lies, as far as I'm concerned. However, I didn't grow from just reading the Bible. Be a leader, be a reader. Mm-hmm. Show me a leader, I'll show you a reader.
Yeah.
Show me a reader, I'll show you a leader.
Yeah.
I had to learn leadership, and I had to learn the principles of success.
I like that.
Like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen. I had to incorporate all that with my spiritual foundation, and so now my training is to train others is Bible, leadership, and success, BLS.
All right.
So that's what we're doing, and that's what we're doing.
So tell me the locations you're at.
Okay, we're in Maryland, of course, Randallstown, Maryland.
I like that. Which is it's nice.
Yeah.
Like upscale, nice little.
But it's not real. Well, it was a little more upscale. but it's outside the city. And then we're in North Dallas in Prosper, Texas, which is
Prosper, Texas. I read
that was
Prosper, Texas.
Hey, I couldn't plan that better, right?
He's in Prosper, Texas.
Right. Amazing. Beautiful. North Dallas is the fastest growing area in the entire country. The North Dallas area.
Was it strategic?
It was once I realized, but it wasn't. I never thought I'd be there, but now, But my wife, my love of my life, she was there for about 10 years. So it kind of introduced me to North Texas. Mm-hmm. Then we have work in Pakistan.
Pakistan.
Got to go there soon. But again, there's a lot of civil unrest, a lot of pain in Pakistan, a lot of pain. And so we believe in God to get there sometime real soon.
This is the first time I'm actually going to share this openly like this. I was invited to a Zoom call, and it was for a ministry out in Pakistan.
Wow.
And they wanted just 15, 20 minutes. And I woke up and I had all this that I was going to share with them. And then there was some technology issues that they had over there, and it was in the middle of Ramadan. And so they was actually worshiping on top of a roof, hidden. And you couldn't tell it was a roof because they had big monitors. I was like, this guy got an expensive roof, And it had they were supposed to have 3 speakers. And it was actually, I was the only one that had time for it.
Wow.
And I was sharing, and I actually preached the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Wow.
No revelation, gospel of Jesus Christ, and I released healing and everything there in 20 minutes, and they didn't have time for other people, and I was like,
oh, what a...
And I was just weeping like the last 2 minutes of it.
They were so hungry, right?
They were hungry, and I was hungry there, and I was like, that shifted me. I was like, all this other stuff is other stuff.
Yes.
But that kind of shifted me.
Special.
Yeah. And they're hungry, and I think they didn't call me back. They are going to call me back. They was going to call me back to do some leadership things or whatever with the people that were there. And so when I saw Pakistan, I was like, oh my God. Yeah, that's funny.
The little things we take for granted are so precious to them. Because I do Zoom meetings with their leadership, and they are just so hungry for fundamental things that we take for granted here in America. They eat it up. They're like sponges, and so that's why America is going to be really, judged, the Church of America, of how we really handle what we were given here in America.
Wow. Can you explain that?
The scripture talks about this in Matthew, the 25th chapter. It talks about the nations. When I was sick, you visited me. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, but it goes at the end of all of those things, and he says, there were nations he was referring to. And he says, so one nation, some nations he's going to say, come on up high. And other nations he's going to just send, he says, to hell. It talks about it. So but the whole concept what Jesus was saying is that even nations are going to be judged by what they have. What are you doing with what you have? So
the principle of the talents.
Yeah. We're going to be responsible. We're going to be held accountable. That's why we should get upset when people hold us accountable here. Because it's good to be held accountable here while we're on this planet.
Yeah.
Because you're going to face probably somebody you will face one day where you're going to be accountable for it all. At least that's what we believe.
It's good to be married too, because your wife holds you accountable. Your wife holds you accountable. I want to hear that. That's accountability. It's character. If I don't want to hear my wife, if I don't want to hear my wife talk or whatever, I don't want her to get on my nerves, then I'm stepping up my game.
Yeah.
She's seeing, I let her see swag, savviness, and also someone that's taking care of his business.
Yeah.
She's proud of even this podcast. She's like, I'm proud of you, Kev, doing this. I'm proud of you doing this. She's proud of all the other work, the community initiatives and everything. Yeah. But I do this for the love of God and because of passion. But at the same time, it makes me look good to my wife.
Amen.
The accountability piece. The accountability piece.
They hold us accountable.
The nations. Wow, that's something.
Yeah.
So man, let's just say that I'm gonna call that contact and be like, man, you want to do that? I'm not gonna commit myself, but I'll join in and see what they're doing, and I'll see if I can partner with them.
No question. America has its challenges, its issues, and whatnot. Here, no question about that. We're not a perfect country, but like we've been taught to believe coming up. But I tell you what, this is a blessed country.
It is.
We're blessed to live here. The things that we have and have had since we were kids.
Yeah.
When you travel like I have overseas and been in certain places, I just came back from the Dominican Republic to Punta Cana, some of the most impoverished neighborhoods you ever want to see. And I'm just shaking my head the whole time thinking about how good God has been to me. And so, sometimes you probably just need to get out and see what we really have. If you want to keep complaining about everything that's going on in America.
I thought about that during the pandemic. How we couldn't move about.
That was an eye-opener, wasn't it?
We could move out, and now we can move out. I'm like, let's visit family. Let's visit family. Let's do it. If you got the money, if you got the resources, let's expand. Let's multiply.
Yeah.
How about, you got me with that multiply. There's something else I wanted to do, but I'm not going to go there. We're just going to flow.
Well, you make, you manage it, but we haven't been taught the multiplication part is the investment part.
Yeah.
Be able to do something one time and it pay you over and over again. That has something that has not been, really pushed in our community. We make money, and some of our parents were great managers. I mean, they died with $30,000 in the pillow, in the suitcase. But investing is something that, and multiply was not something that we were taught. And that's really how you get financially independent and financially blessed. Financial freedom, you're not financially free. Free to, you make $100,000, they say. But you don't have financial independence to 1.2 million.
Yeah, and that's on the low end. I think
that's probably low too.
Yeah, because we like to travel, we like to drive nice.
And 6 digits is nothing now. That was the thing. It's nothing now.
Wow.
Fathers got to know that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that. So fathers and men, because we want to reform the image of fatherhood, right, in our culture.
Powerful.
So reforming the image of fatherhood. So what do you think is missing in our fathers when it comes to finances? One of the 5 F's. What's missing besides education?
Well, fatherhood, I think I shared this with you before, is the highest level of manhood. I know there's malehood, then there's boyhood. As a boy, you have no responsibility. Okay, but playboy.
Right.
So that's what you want to do is play. Hey, all you want to do is play, no responsibility. However, then you got to go to adolescencehood, where you're kind of learning your identity, trying to find out who you really are. That's why teenagers go through so many challenges, puberty, the whole 9 yards. And then there is manhood. Man is when you start really, you're given your own responsibility. You learn how to manage money. You know how to manage money by then. Then you have husbandhood, where now not only can you take care of yourself, you can take care of the wife.
Exactly.
And then you have fatherhood. That's the proper order. But what we have today, as you know, is before a boy even reaches manhood, he's in the fatherhood. He's thrown in the zone of fatherhood.
He missed all those steps.
He missed all those steps. He hasn't even learned how to take care of himself. He doesn't even have a work ethic. He never traveled. There's no responsibility. And now he's thrown into taking care of himself, his wife, and his children. So that's the problem. The order is all jacked up.
Yeah.
So, in other cultures, they have what you call in Jewish culture, bar mitzvah. And some African culture, 18 rites of passage.
Yeah.
That's what we got to get back.
Yeah.
We got to get back so that we can develop true fathers who protect, provide, and understand the responsibility in the home. Responsibility. They not only take care of themselves, but they can take care of their wife and their children.
Yes.
Today, it's sad. I don't even know if I was really where I should have been when I first got married. But the point is, a lot of women are marrying boys.
When I got out the Air Force, thank you. When I got out the Air Force, came home from Air Force, I was 22, and I came back to my father's house. He already had a plan for me. I didn't have a vision. Now, I do life management plans. My business do that type of stuff, right? But he had a plan for me. He was like, Kev, listen, check this out. I knew you was coming home, so I was already looking at a house for you to purchase.
Wow. That's a father.
I was already looking for a house for you to purchase, this, that, and the other. He was looking at it, and he was walking me through the process, but I missed it. I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready. I still wanted to hang out. I wanted around the way girl. I wanted all that kind of stuff. I was doing all that kind of stuff. So he backed off, he put his hands off, backed off. And I was like, what if I totally submitted to him? If I submitted to him, if I got that out of my system quickly and then say, okay, Dad, let's go get this property. He's going to back me.
Yeah. But you got grown men now still
screwed up.
You got grown men now still thinking they're going to be in the NBA, still thinking
So a rapper.
Be a rapper, 35, 40. And man, you should be working on your craft and you're getting, established financially. So
multiple streams,
but we want to hang out with the boys, the guys. I mean, you got to know when it's time to shift.
Yeah.
And I remember at a certain age when I was like, I love basketball. Mm-hmm. I've loved basketball, but I remember when I could no longer hang out with the guys as much as I wanted to. I had to just stop it.
Yeah.
Playing basketball when I could have been working a second job or learning a business. But I'm out there running, playing ball 3 or 4 times a week. So,
and I ended up buying a house. So I ended up buying a couple of houses and stuff, investment property and stuff like that.
Awesome.
But if I would have gotten that, then I would have been so way up the road. Well,
your father was an awesome man. Proverbs talks about that, about how, fathers, houses and what is it? Houses and property, wealth are the inheritance of fathers.
Yeah.
So, and a good man leaves his inheritance for his children's children. Yeah, real prudent, that's what it is. Fathers don't have prudence today. Prudence is the ability to foresee into the future. That's what prudence is, the ability to foresee into the future. It is a gift from God. It's something God gives us. And fathers have prudence. Good fathers have prudence. They can see, my dad I wanted to quit and leave Morgan State because I was an accountant. They would ask me to preach everywhere in everybody's church. And I was like, Dad, I don't need this education. I can preach. They called me to preach. He said, boys, stay in school. You're going to see down the road where you're going to need that financial background. Everything we've accomplished in our church came on the strength of my financial background. God, don't get me wrong, God's favor, but they saw my financial background, my degree, and they said, you know what? We can loan this church that money. Wow. That's the lessons you get from a real father.
And that's over $1 million property.
Oh, our church building?
Yeah.
Worth $6-7 million now.
$7 million.
Yeah.
Look at that. And not only that, you got mentees. Like me, I'm one of them now. Mentees on finances because you heeded to your father's voice.
Yeah. Father, man, what you're doing is amazing, Kevin. I'm just going to tell you what you're doing with this program. I pray the world gets to watch this and watch you periodically, weekly, because this is the highest calling of a man, is fatherhood.
Wow.
And so it's like you've been chosen, man, to empower fathers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate.
That's humbling.
It's humbling, yeah, but it's the ultimate. So your assignment, your mandate, this podcast, man, I just pray you don't ever stop, that you just just hang in there until people hear the voice.
Okay.
Because the promise in the end time is Malachi 4:6. And it's not conditional promise. It's an unconditional promise. It's something that's going to happen. I'm going to turn the hearts
of fathers,
children to the fathers, and the fathers to the son. I'm going to turn the hearts. That's going to happen in this, and you're going to be you're part of that process.
I receive that.
You're part of that plan.
I receive that. Wow. I mean, we can go on. I just thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. This is so powerful. This is a blessing. I can go on and on, but we're gonna go on and on because this is my financial and dream coach. But we'd like to thank everybody for joining in, for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the Father's Coach podcast. Just know there's so many principles that was dispersed here, so many spiritual principles, financial principles, fatherhood initiatives, and everything on this episode right here. And there's going to be many more episodes as well. Maybe there can be a part 2 sometime. I don't know. We'll think about that. I'm throwing the seed out there. But anyway, thank you all for joining in. Tune in. Welcome again to Kevin L. Kelley, the Father's Coach podcast. Thank you.